I had to reset the stream multiple times and don't even know if I'm effectively live at this point. Because I hate YouTube. Okay. It should be. If it's not, I'm going to... Ah, it's live. Okay, okay, it's live. Good to know. I don't know where at this point. Because it's not showing to me. Like, I'm a bit panicking. Because I don't know if I'm putting things wrong. Or not. But I will trust... okay. Now it's live. So thanks James from the backside. So the whole introduction I did until now it was completely useless. I will just do it. So welcome for... Yes, now it's live. Welcome for the big grid at Cota. I did an entire 10-minute introduction. And apparently there was issues with YouTube for some reasons, because me making mistakes, not really, but creating issues, yes sir, because I am the creator of everything that could happen. But anyway, welcome for the big grid at Cota. Now this time for real. No qualifying whatsoever, because the qualifying was made with a hot lap session. So it's straight into the race, and you are going to have me, Cristiano Romano, to accompany you for the whole duration of the race. And it's been 3 months I wasn't here. And now it should everything work. Now it should. A big gigantic should. As I'm very much used to the purple stream, because you can say the T word on YouTube. Anyway, as we are going to approach the start of the 90-minute race, we're going to have a little drone preview of the track. It's going to be a 34 driver lineup with multiple classes. We have M2 Club Sports, we have Porsche Super Cup, we have some Porsche, we have some Super Trofeo 2, some GT4 and some GT3. No Ferrari Challenge, unfortunately, because that car is just funny to be seen, like screeching its engine for no reason whatsoever, and then just going straight because it has the downforce of a Fiat Panda. As said, here we are, into not really the race, but more the starting grid. And someone is missing there, clearly. I just want to see if this still works. I'm not really sure. I really think the answer is no, but we'll try anyway. If I do this, it should work. Now, should and those are very different things also. Well, whatever, we'll try. Is it going? I hope so. Oh no, this is... Oh no, it's a disaster. It clearly isn't working. Can I just resolve it in time? Properties. Okay, yes, it's working. So we just missed a couple of drivers. Toby Schmid is in 7th place. Okay, with Benjamin Eck in 8th. Martin Cotterill in 9th place, with Mark Stewart in 10th place. Behind some Push Super Cup even. Philip Heine in the 91 is in front of Samuel Capitani Jordan. And Dimitar Jankov is in front of Dan Nicebit, the first of the Lamborghini. Manuel Novak in the other Porsche Super Cup, and Chris Jones in 16th place, with Cheslin Salazar in 17th, Luciano Valli in 18th, with David Scolari and Jungen. I probably destroyed his name, sorry. Then Ivan and Simone Bigiani in 22nd place, Alex Zachtal in the Maserati GT4 with Craig Hill in 24th place. Adam Anderson starts with a McLaren number 88 with Jack Evans in caps lock for some reasons in a 182, so I should show it. Samuele Simoncelli in the 64 in 27th with Rowdy Bones in the 51. Christoph Sakeki in the 144, and Tom Brunel in the 30th place, with Roberto Costa in 31st, Ian Thompson in 32nd place in the BMW, with Merke Garbi and John Barf completing your grid. So, apart destroying half of what should have been, so a normal, classical starting grid. I just want to see if I can just... Yes, I can. So we're going for a little drone preview of the lap. Trying to do it as fast as possible. I've also upgraded my graphic card. I don't know if there is any difference. Probably not, because the game was already running maximum. It's just that the CPU can just do what it could. But so still the same, maybe worse, considering the time passed. We just passed the S, which takes some remembrance from Assassin's Track in Japan, because Suzuka is really the fundament of that section. The first sector is extremely downforce. It asks a lot of downforce from your car, let's say. So you should put a lot of setup points into the wings. And then we go into the second sector, where whatever I said until now is completely the opposite, because it's just a straight. Look at that. It's absurdly long. And this turn here, this hairpin, is one of the hotspots of the entire track, because many drivers try to go for the lunge on the inside. And not really always happens. As we go alongside the Ferrari number 510. That will start on pole position this race. Remember, no qualifying session, just a hot lap decided. So they had all the time in the world to make it happen. As we can now see the various cars passing by. On the left side of your screen, there are different things that you can look at. In order is position, and then it's the name, surname of the drivers, and then it's the number, car being driven, with the gaps and the nationalities on the far right. And if you can see, there is also on the position a little triangle. That triangle there is referring to the class they are racing in. So you can easily understand who is racing with. As we go on the main touristic spot of the whole track. This tower here is, honestly, I really want to pay just to go there one day. One very far day when I will be millionaire and will have multiple cars, whatever. But we are now waiting. As you can see, all the cars are going 2 by 2, left and right, to the start of the race. It was sometimes I was missing to say it, but we are about to go green light in the big grid at Cota. On board with Brazier in the 92 Aston Martin, starting on 4th place. But I really think for the once the camera on the outside is way better, because this is very good. The start of the race happens now, with Coley on the inside, still goes on the defensive. There is a Ferrari there, the green Ferrari on the outside is trying whatever is possible, but Longden is not going to have an easy life there. Oh, there is a yellow flag. Orban is off. Orban is off on the grass. It was a car going on the grass. It was a Ferrari number 2 going on the grass. But Longden stays in the second place, with Brown following just behind. Brazier maintained the 4th place, with Buckley in now the 5th. With Benjamin Eck and Toby Schmid in 7th in the Porsche Cup. Quite interesting to see now Ormrod completely fold off the grid. They fall off the grid, and now they also joined and making an overtake. The Dutchman. Oh, there is a contact behind! The number 12 is the Porsche back on the track, cutting across, not making contact with whoever was passing by, but still, definitely some contact with the barrier was made there. We're going to have some replays after the dust has settled on the racetrack. Yellow flag still around the track. There is a possible overtake there for Benjamin Eck on the Porsche. That's a Super Cup. They have way more speed on the straight, way less on the turns. So Bacalina will go behind the Porsche Super Cup with Mark Stewart trying to get as many positions as possible, considering he has the GT3, with Cotterill overtaking the number 96 there. Obviously there are multiple battles on track because there are multiple classes, so it's going to be a difficult one to keep myself up to date to whoever is changing position. For now we'll stay here, but I really think in a short time we are going to have some battle for the GT4s. As always, sets the fastest lap for now, but obviously the race just started, so not really anything to keep track of. As for now, the GT3 stays on track for a brief moment. He stayed on track, and then he lost the position on Benjamin Eck for 5th place. There's going to be a fight also here because Omrod is trying to get back at least with the GT3 pack, at the very least. Trying to overtake as many GT4 as possible. Speaking of GT4, there is an overtake there. It was Samuele Simoncelli overtaking the BMW of Burns, number 51, on turn 1, on the inside. As I think we can just maybe briefly go and understand what happened at the very start of the race. It was a contact with a GT4 apparently for the number 2, as we go back to see what really happened there. It seems like, oh no, there was a Porsche Super Cup there. It was a Porsche Super Cup making contact with the Ferrari, and then the Ferrari going back on the racetrack, but obviously with some rear end damage. Meanwhile, there's Longden trying the NASCAR line, which didn't really help the Ferrari driver after the straight. Oh, there is a contact! And the rear span from the Ferrari with Alan Brown making the position, but certainly the 328 will not be happy about what happened there. We're going to see a brief replay about what happened from the very wing of the British man. As you can see, a little tap on the very rear of the car that put the 328 in a bit of difficulty. Meanwhile, Cotterill is out of track even. Something really happened on the horseshoe. Meanwhile, there is also a Porsche Super Cup battling with a Lamborghini Super Trofeo. Certainly a fight you will not see in real life, unfortunately. Maybe. Can't really remember if the 24-hour series make some, because I remember there is some multi-class, but I don't really follow it because all Creventic. But anyway, the Porsche still on the inside. Jason Salazar tries to keep the inside and keep the position as such, and makes it into 12th place. So now the two Lamborghini are one after the other in 13th and 14th place. As the time passes, we should see all the different classes split. So GT3, Porsche Super Cup, and Super Trofeo, because it really depends. With all the different GT4 then battling for position on the far end of the grid, with M2 really closing the grid. For now it has definitely been a start. Not as many overtakes as I thought. I would have thought way more from the GT3s, I will be honest. While there has been an overtake there, it was Thompson losing the position on Evans in the Alpine number 182. Which puts the British driver in 25th place. Unexpected difficulties for Buckley in his GT3, still behind the Porsche Super Cup there. Number 8 in 4th place, still keeping pace with the GT3, because effectively the GT3 Cup really have way less downforce, and they are really strong, especially on the very last, on the very second sector. And also the third, because the third really utilizes a lot of mechanical grip. They really suffer on the first, but until you are in front, you don't really have to worry too much about it. Meanwhile, there is a battle of GT3 in 17th place, as Martin Cotterill is going to pass by Omrod, or at least that's the situation that could happen at the very turn 1 up ahead. Braking late, way too late, definitely too late. That's a lot too late. And the 107 in fact loses the position. And number 2 that keeps 17th place with some rear end damage on their car. Meanwhile, there is also Anderson in the 88 battling with the number 881 Alpine. And there is also the Ginetta behind, following closely the situation. We are going to have a splitter come off it, even if they are side by side. The Ginetta stays behind the McLaren and stays behind the Alpine. So Costa will keep 22nd place for now. And in all of this, the lead in GT3 is essentially in another state. Because now we are in Texas, but possibly Cole is already in Oklahoma. Well, there is a possible overtake happening because the McLaren really went wide there with Hill, that now has the chance to make it happen at the very tail end of the straight. There is also another battle going on in the backyard of this straight because Thompson is trying to overtake Evans, but for now we'll keep the eye on this very battle because something may sparkle from the three drivers still battling. The French car and the Alpine and the Ginetta are both front-end engine, whilst the McLaren is mid-engine. Meanwhile, the 107 is showing yellow flag on the very last part of the track into turn 20. But we are going to stay here because it is an amazing overtake on the outside of Horseshoe from the Ginetta that makes it into 23rd place. Incredible overtake on the outside with an immense amount of grip and some clear ability on keeping the outside there within the lines, and a position has been made from Hill on Anderson. Meanwhile, there is also the comeback answered probably by the McLaren driver that is trying whatever is possible to achieve there. McLaren still on the outside, the brakes as late as possible. Are they still side by side? Not really, while Evans, on the other hand, is trying back to get the position, and in fact it is the situation there as Evans is now in front of Thompson, period. And the next battle on track is probably what will happen in... Oh! Hand is off! And Younger made contact. For some reason, the 91 and 79 had yellow flags being shown. This is the reason for its... Definitely some brake issues for the number 91 that either had some brake pedal failure or completely forgot where the braking point was and went straight on into the number 79 that will now have some important rear end damage. So this puts the podium Super Cup with a choice to be made, whether to repair the car or to keep it going until the end of the race. The fact that there are multiple classes really puts a lot of racing into the scenario. There is also some M2 Cup battle here, as you can see. Christoph Sakeki and Melker Garbi, two long rivals of the various FRL seasons, are now battling for position there into the last sector. It's possibly going to be a head-to-head for the two, as the Polish and the Swedish drivers are 9 seconds clear of the third and last BMW. BMW there. 792 is off onto the gravel with huge front end damage. Something happened there at the SS. We are going to have a splitter cam for us to tell us about what happened there. The very tail end of the S. Oh, they are snapped off, and into the barrier they went. So Chris Jones will now have some struggles in his car. Meanwhile, there is Tom Omrod possibly losing the position on a very quick Power Super Cup. And the 291 will nevertheless stay behind the Ferrari number 2. We also have to get back behind, because some overtake may sparkle in class. It's Costa, Hill and Anderson again. Meanwhile, the number 22 goes extremely wide on entry, loses the position on the Ferrari, which is not really an issue considering the Ferrari is from another class. The issue is that Capitano Jordan is going to have a bit of an idea there. Meanwhile, we go back with Anderson, because Hill is getting overtaken by the very same McLaren that was behind a couple of laps ago. Descend late on the brakes, goes a bit wide on exit, which means that Ginetta could have had the upper hand on acceleration, but the next turn was a right-hander, which put the McLaren in a very precious position. Meanwhile, Anderson though goes over the sausages and loses whatever he made until now, so he loses back the position on the car number 888. Meanwhile, there's also a change of position between Han and Salazar. Salazar lost the position on number 91 there. With now Buckley having a bit of a thought about having the podium. Cowley is 11 seconds in front, so not really on the mind of these drivers. Alan Brown is in second place, 4 seconds clear of Brazier, which is a couple of times clear of the McLaren just behind. You can clearly see it, wrong car. You can clearly see it from the wing that this very car is getting attacked by the McLaren behind. McLaren that I think it is the newer version. It would be very odd if it wasn't. There's a car stopped there. It's Jan Barf in a 934. Keeping time. Oh, meanwhile, Hane goes into the pits. I don't know if it is a drive-through. No, this is definitely not a drive-through. But it's a very odd choice, because obviously they have to make a pit. I think it's a bit too early, unless the damage was unsufferable. Meanwhile, Valley goes for a spin there, number 3. Something happened there. we're going to understand better what happened in the very last corner. Ooh, no traction control means that this could happen sometimes. Because the Porsche Super Cup doesn't have traction control in the game. In real life, I think they have it. If I remember correctly, maybe they have it, or probably I making confusion with some other series. Not really. I can't really put my hand on fire for that. This is the main free one overtaking a Porsche Super Cup. At least that's the aim. It was Kane, so exiting the pits and getting back on the position. Whilst Manuel Novak is trying to overtake the Ferrari, which either has enormous issues with the rear end after the damage. The Ferrari is extremely powerful on fast corners because of its stability, but obviously if you damage that, you really don't have much to play with, as the car is very, I will say, volatile. Without it, oh, there's a bouncing Lambo. It was the Italian bouncing over the curbs, which now sees the number 2 going away and the number 22 getting quicker, closer rather, well, quickly close on the back of the very Lamborghini Super Trofeo with the number 22 that is very fast, but not enough fast. As you can see, the speed difference is not much, but it's clear. More downforce even. But the Porsche is way better at mechanical grip than the Super Trofeo, which for now puts the battle on a tie. For now. Back on the wing. Ooh, the number 3 is off. Number 3 is back running, but it was definitely off for a brief moment. Mina 934, as I said earlier. Terrible situation for the number 27 that had the BMW just in front and had to slow down quite a bit, which puts the number 22 back on the diffuser. Goes wide, goes really wide. For a moment, traction was lost, and now even the position has been lost because Capitanio Jordan is now in front of Novak in the 15th place overall, which is 6th on class. And I want, oh, there is a contact! Yankov and Salazar. Yellow flags being shown, something really happened there. We're going to have a look from Helicam, because I don't see. Oh, it was a half spin by Salazar and a little kiss by Yankov's car. Salazar now loses the position from Nesbitt and Omrod after that. Quite odd, the situation that the car was lost on entry. Oh, there is long with yellow flags being shown. He's struggling to keep traction. And 360 on the grass, and he loses 2 positions after. I would like to see what. Oh, he lost the car on the S's, went on the marbles, which put the car in a bit of a no control situation. Still showing yellow flags somewhere on the track. There is a contact somewhere. Oh, he lost again the rear, and this time there was the barrier meeting with the front end. Lot of struggles for the British driver now that has overheated tires and an enormous amount of issues to be resolved on the pits because that car clearly has some front end damage. I wonder if the suspension has been bent as a consequence of the contact with the wall. Unfortunately, because he was closing the gap to the top 4, and now that gap is going to be enormously large. There is the battle for 12th position with the 126 trying to get a position, and not only trying but managing to do so. As the number 3 still showing yellow flags. Not really sure the reason. We're going to maybe get a break later, but for now there is this little battle happening between a Porsche Super Cup and a GT3, which is odd. I really think the damage on the rear has to be repaired, because that car is not really moving forward, rather backwards on the grid. The clear battle is still happening. Is the one just behind with the Porsche losing the car and going into the barrier. Just when it was happening. And Novak makes the position for himself too after that. Captain Jordan goes into the pits to repair the car, probably. And to make a very early stop, considering the Porsche Super Cup consumes a lot less fuel than every other car. Meanwhile, there is also Naismith losing the position on Salazar, and Omrod also wants to get back at least for one position, but it really doesn't happen there. With the Lamborghini of Naismith keeping pace with Salazar, although by losing the position on the very Belgian driver. As there is a battle going on between Longden and Stewart, an attempt to keep at least a position there by Longden after the damage it was delivered to his car, but unfortunately the battle's end was a bit clear from the beginning there, and Naismith overtakes. Oh, there is M2 on the middle of the racing line, because these two M2 are battling for positions. Sakaki and Garby are battling, so they are keeping as much clear road as possible, but obviously they can't disappear nor cancel themselves. Omrod overtakes one of the two, with Longden going to the pits to repair the car and to try to make 65 minutes at the very least of racing. Schmidt is showing yellow flags in the straight. Oh no, it's in the very first S's. So something happened there. Oh, multiple contact happened. We can see there was an M4 there. There was a double overtake happening, which clearly didn't happen with M4 that was lapped. And the car being tapped was... I'm trying to understand. It was a battle for position. I think it was Thompson. It was indeed Thompson and Evans. Evans making the move on Thompson, which then led to a contact afterward. Very unfortunate situation there, as Val is again on the very same spot. He lost the car already once. So it was an unfortunate situation, because the Alpine was making the move on the BMW and just going a bit wide. The Porsche was just there and nothing could have been made, to be fair. As Benjamin Eck is showing yellow flag. Something, no, I don't know. are really for the worst for them. And Novak is trying to keep the position on Cotterill with Omro that went way wider than expected there. Cotterill with some front-end damage. I think it's not that impactful, but I can't be sure about that. This, visually speaking, it seems like it. It's a bit of left and forth between all the different positions on track. But for now, Novak is behind the 2 GT3 and the 2 Lamborghini, still keeping 6th place on class. I really want to get back into this battle because these cars, in my opinion, are extremely underrated. They are extremely fun, and they really deserve more love than they have. Because these cars really depend on the skill set on the driver, not the setup, the car, the balance of performance. Or it's just a car. You don't really have to set up it. Just set the pressures. Say, it feels okay. Go, good to go. Easy. It's a very funny car to drive. You can really stretch it as much as you want. And you can make overtakes in some impossible situations. And the 79 is not really on track. On the other hand, something happened to Jonken on the hairpin. Oh, it was the front end. Okay, no contact with the wall. But clearly the traction control would have been useful there. It's odd to hear the difference in the noise between like the Ferrari, which is just, the word is loud, like it is loud, extremely loud. Not that I don't like it, I'm not saying that. Absolutely, I love it, especially the turbo, because that car has a very powerful turbo. So you sometimes hear a little like this, but it's odd to hear the difference between like the 296 and M2, which is completely different. Meanwhile, Amrod is still battling for a position, not in class though, it's just overall. And the same applies behind with the 107, still battling for oops, wrong one. Focusing, battling for a position. Just the overall one though. As Nicebit gets back on the position that he just lost. Definitely some white line being applied there as we get into the car, and then on the wing to see the Ferrari getting passed by on the straight. These cars here, the Super Trofeo and the Porsche Super Cup, really have a bonus in the straight, as they have way less downforce and as such way more speed on that very section. little loss of grip by the Ferrari there, as we saw the rear going for a little journey. Oh, there is that bit going definitely wide there. And losing the position on the number 2 Ferrari 296. And getting it back every straight. There is this switch happening. And the Lamborghini again late on the brakes and again losing the position. The same exact move happened twice there. Very odd for the British driver, as Novak is now trying to get in front. As a couple of drivers made their pit, there is Buckley in the number 11 that just exited the pits and will go until the end with this situation. Blue flags being shown. As you can see, the BMW there. Oh, it's a Ginetta. It seemed like a BMW from far away, I don't know why. Letting the GT3 and all the other cars pass by, the GT4 starting to get lapped by this group of 3 different cars from 3 different classes, battling for the very same positions. The number 10, maintained by Omrod in the GT3, with Cota behind, a nice bit, and Bigiani in the Super Trofeo with Novak keeping pace with the Porsche Super Cup. Going a bit wide. The horseshoe, which leaves a bit of space for Bigiani. Probably not really now. The Huracan will stay behind the other Huracan. We know Novak thinking about it, not really. It was a thought, but nothing over that. Again on turn 1, the idea is still there, but not the concretization of the very same idea. And there's also some battle for 8th place, which is the 4th in class between Salazar and Yankov. For now I don't really know where to look at. I think we can stay with this battle for now. With Bigiani kind of trying to keep position number 14. Brakes late to avoid the Porsche. Getting closer and closer on the mechanical situations, but the Lamborghini is way quicker on the straight, and Bigiani's one is even quicker than Nicebit's. As you can see, late on the brake, very late, too late, way too late. For a moment I thought there would have been a contact with the BMW M4 GT4. As you can see, Bigiani managed to get a position for now, but he has to go around the BMW. Oh, there is a sandwich there! 3 wide! Contact between the Porsche. No, between the 2 Lamborghini and the BMW. And the Porsche passes by. Another contact between the BMW and the Lamborghini. Another contact between the 2 Lamborghini that ends on the Porsche again in the position. And Bigiani keeping the lead of the class. Even if there are just 2 drivers for that very class. But definitely quite the situation happening there. We now Tom Omrod managing to get another position for himself. It's the number 9. Just in the middle of these 2 Porsche Super Cup battling for 8th. I think we can see. No, we can't. Sad. Oh, maybe I can. It was the number 55. To see if I can look at it. How do we go here? It should be this one. It is indeed this one. You can see the sandwich happening with the BMW. Quite the innocent, considering it was nice bit that went way too aggressive on the BMW, jumping the curb and landing on the German GT4, which didn't really leave much space for an innocent Bigiani. Now Valli still here, struggling on this very spot, on the very last corner of the track. As you can see, Garbi passing by. The gap has widened up 3.3 seconds between Sakaki and Garbi, which puts some space between the two. Salazar lets the two GT3 pass by, that now are clearly faster than the whole grid. And Yankov is still behind. Salazar, with nice bits, they lost the position on Buckley, but that was obvious. The GT3 is way quicker and was battling for the podium. It's nice bit goes into the pits for the mandatory pit stop. I think James Coley does have some TV coverage for himself, considering he is now having a 27-second gap. 207.0 is the best lap being set, and I think we can go for a little lap. Oh no, there is an overtake there! It's Cotterill overtaking Omrod for 8th position, which leaves Omrod just behind the 2nd place. And I think we can go for a little lap with James Coley. We go back into the side of the racetrack. Fantastic noise by the B-turbo of the 296. A 3 liter, if I remember correctly. It should be a 3 liter only. And meanwhile, the 107 goes a bit wider. Oh, there's another car going definitely wider. It was the Porsche. I think it was the number 22 resistance, or the 966, one of the two. And for now, the 296 of Armrod is trying to get on the inside. Cotterill goes way late on the brakes and gets the prize, or rather keeps it into 8th place. Still some battle may happen and may sparkle in the very next moments. With the Ginetta number 888 going into the pits there, which leaves some clean air for Cotterill. 24 seconds in front is Stewart, but not really clean air as an effective, but rather just in terms of overall. Meanwhile, there is a little battle still going on between Yankov and Novak, with Novak on the outside. Something may happen there on the outside of turn 1, which will become the inside of turn 2. On the curb he goes. Nothing really happens as of the curbs. But now Yankov really wants to speed up the pace on Salazar, which still is in front of these two drivers running the cup. This will be for 4th place in class. Great line by... Oh, this is definitely a move on his side. This was clearly the intent, but there was no space for Novak to make it happen. But you really saw how he took the line, considering Salazar is... Yankov is way slower. Goes for the cutback on the inside. The curb unfortunately was there, which keeps Yankov on top of the battle. But Buckley the Crilly is rushing to make as many positions as possible in the less possible time. Novak really had some different lines compared to Salazar, to Yankov. It wasn't a mistake. Oh, contact between the GT3 and the Cup. It was a mistake. It was a completely different set of lines because the number 22 is a bit faster and it was stuck behind, so at this point just take as much space as possible. As the 966 goes into the pits, nearly goes into a stop, so a lot of time being lost on that very section. Into penalty, same goes for the number 27 of Bigiani, Cotterill in the 107 and Jongen in the 79. Buckley is still going as fast as possible, while Cole goes into the pits for the pit stop. So now Buckley, unfortunately, making this early pit put him in traffic way earlier than expected. Not in terms of cars, because they are all over the track, but more as of the battles happening. Because obviously as early as you pit, the more battle you can encounter. Novak, very, very clever there, makes the position after Salazar left the space for the McLaren to pass by. And very opportunistic. There is maybe a contact, not a contact between the McLaren and the Porsche, luckily. And Novak keeps the position in his number 22. Extremely important that door left open, and Novak didn't wait a single moment to make it happen. Meanwhile, Yankov comes to a stop in third gear. And something happened because he is not in the race anymore. So very odd, because I can't really understand why. All of a sudden it came to a stop for whichever reason. So no, Salazar will have a problem less to think about, quite obviously. Schmidt, meanwhile, goes back into the racetrack, and for now in front of Jongen and behind Hane. Just in this middle sandwich between the two drivers that both pitted. The thing is that Schmid also had a lot of seconds of repairs, exactly 15 seconds, while Hane made a pit stop but didn't change the tire, which I don't know how is it possible. 90 minutes with a single set of tires is not really worthy, in my opinion, for multiple reasons. So now there is a little sandwich of Porsche Cup that happened because of the pits. One, Philippe Hane didn't change the tires. Schmid also had to repair the car, while Jongen is the only normal one. Meanwhile, there is a double overtake happening. The tires are already melting, probably. So Schmid is now in front of Jongen, that in the end didn't repair the car, if you remember correctly. If you remember, these two both had damage, but clearly the orange one didn't choose to repair them. And it clearly doesn't impact his race pace as he goes past by the number 79. No, the number 901, sorry. And now the Dutchman is in front of the German into 9th place, as Novak is still in the pits. I'm trying to find for something odd or outside the ordinary, but I can't really find anything. While Cota is facing the other way around. He goes to one lap, to lap a car. Oh, there is also contact between, I think it was, oh, it was the Alpine, just can't, don't know who. It was Evans, Jack Evans, creating a spin for the car just in front. So this one for now is the closest battle on track. Brown, Breiser, Stewart, Omrod and Salazar with Costa, Simoncelli and Stakecki still have to make their pit stop. Oops. We're going on board with Schmid. Goes for the move on the very late moment. for the two drivers, which meet and manage to capture the position just in front. There may be some contact between the BMW M2 and the Porsche, which leaves the creation of some gap between the Cup car and Yongen. A very difficult, or rather dangerous move in terms of gain loss, but luckily, even if the odds weren't to his favor, he made it nevertheless. So now he is in 8th place with Jonge, that has to get back on track and take as much of the 37 minutes available as possible to make the position back. Consider that the Porsche Cup doesn't have, same goes for the Super Trofeo and GT4 and BMW, everyone but the GT3 don't have thermo blankets. So I have to go back on the racetrack without heated tires. Cold one with the lowest possible pressures. Which clearly is a huge difficulty. And not everyone can really fight it. As many times many drivers get to a crash with the barriers because of the cold tires. Even in GT3, Toby Schmid decides that hitting the tires can be made in two different manners. That's definitely a manner, not the usual, nor the safest, but it's definitely the fastest. But for now he stays in front of Jongen. There's also Nicebit and Bigiani still battling for the very same position. They were battling some laps ago, with unfortunately the Italian behind, unfortunately for me obviously, unfortunately behind Nicebit for now, as we go back here, because there may be the overtake by Nicebit, by Bigiani on Nicebit on the outside it tries. Doesn't really happen here. As the Englishman stays in front of the Italian. Lap time speaking, the Italian should have a way easier time considering the laps being set. Best lap you can see 2:11.8. I tell you that Nicebit has a 12.2 in his favor. I say the best lap, it's actually the last lap, but it doesn't count because the best and the last were the same for the Italian. Now because the line way is lower, we saw the reason. And there is also Brown overtaking Stewart that goes into the pits. I forgot that Stewart was yet to pit. So I think we can go back to Jongen and Schmid. Ooh, nearly a spin for the Dutchman that loses the car briefly on the exit, keeps it, but clearly loses a lot of useful time. Exactly 1.7 seconds. Meanwhile, there's Dan Nicebit that goes a bit wide on exit, and Bigiani was clearly faster on exit with a impressive acceleration thanks to a better racing line. And now the Italian is in front of the British driver that will try to outbrake him as much as possible. Oh, there is a major contact between the two. I don't think the Italian thought there was still a chance for the British driver to make it happen. Contact between the two that led to Naismith still losing the position. I really want to see it again though. Così Frondelli breaks very late and the Italian doesn't even... Oh, there is an helmet tinker there! As there is Naismith going into the gravel. Literally the same move that happened in NASCAR some time ago. I don't know why it came to my mind that very same moment. But that Naismith is now into the gravel and not in the track anymore. So now Bigiani wins automatically the race as the British driver put himself out automatically. That move that happened was the same exact move that happened some time ago in the NASCAR Cup Series, so that's why I said it's an AJ Allmendinger. Because that's how he won in 2021. I don't know, useless motorsport facts that I know, parts 13,017. Do whatever you want with it. As we go in this little fight, huh? Between the ASCII chocolates, which reminds me a lot of Ericsson, because it's the same livery as in IndyCar. Following Buckley, they are lapping more or less the same, not even. A little advantage goes towards X car in the last laps, but the best one was made by the McLaren, 6 times quicker. And this will be for 4th overall. But for Benjamin Eck, wouldn't really change in class considering he has a 22-second lead on Salazar. Ooh, the McLaren clearly wide on exit there. Goes over the curbs and loses the position, number 4. So now Buckley is in 5th place in number 11. So for now, the last half hour, we'll probably see the drivers getting back to their positions as they should be. So GT3, Poi Super Cup, GT4 and M2, with some exceptions in the middle. As Salazar goes into the pits. The only one that remains is the only ones that remain are Breiser, Sioncelli, Stakeki, 2 still approach the pit lane. They will have to spend more or less 1 minute and 10 seconds at the very least. So Brazier should go around this very position here. Should be theoretically in 4th, but it may as well become 5th, by the way. The pit happens. There's some fighting going on in multi-class, as Viviani is now fighting with Salazar for position. They just exit the pits. From still Alpha second. Oh, Simoncelli is showing yellow flags for some reasons. Because of the curbs. Ooh, the Alpine lost the rear and kept the accelerator on until the very end. But also Chris Jones is showing yellow flags for some other reasons. On the SS. On the Porsche Cup, no barriers were involved in this mistake. Now Chris Jones is back on track. Simoncelli goes into the pits, so now only Stakeki and the lead driver, so Brazier, have yet to pit. Remember that Hane didn't change the tires, which wasn't really a good idea, because now he is going to lose an enormous amount of time every single lap. Now running into 2:14s. The other cars are lapping 2:11, 2:10. And remember that these tires can have a puncture. Like, if you get below the 1.5 mark, you get a puncture. No matter what. So, it may as well happen, because not changing tires for an hour and a half is not really suitable. Whichever reason you have in mind, it's not possible. Nor safe. So I wonder if we will see a puncture by... Well, it will be the first time in my life seeing one. As Mark Stewart is now past Hane quite easy. Unfortunately, not other challenges are currently happening, because this battle we had. So the Britishman exploding. This leaves Bigiani with a question mark of whether he can or not overtake Salazar for 14th place overall. For now 1.6, 1.8 is the gap. Probably Salazar will not have a difficult time to get away from Bigiani, but never say never. It may happen in the next following moments. I wonder if Novak will be able to... Okay, that's the battle evaporating in front of our eyes. I wonder if Novak, 24 seconds behind Hane, will be able to achieve the position in the Swedish end, considering he is losing about 2 seconds, nearly 3 per lap. So with 22 minutes to go, we are around 2 minutes per lap, slightly more, let's say 10 to 11 laps. Makes sense? I really think it's 11, maybe even 12. Should be 11, though. 11 laps, 2 seconds per lap, 22 seconds. It's very tight. Unfortunately, Novak this time around made another 12.9. So it should be tied between the two for these last 11 laps to go, as Breiser makes his pit. So Coley now is now back into the lead of the race. With Benjamin Eck overtaking Drazier for position. It was the fault was there for a moment. He will have slightly cut the tires than the usual. Unfortunately for Eck, for Buckley, because if Eck would have been in front of Breiser, it would have been a great news for the McLaren driver, because the Aston would have had to slow down a bit and maintain the pace of the Porsche in the at least first sector. Should have been a good situation for the Aston Martin trying to achieve the podium, even if X chance of getting a podium is just 3 times away, maybe less. Now that an overtaking may happen, we go in fact into the Aston swing. To see if any possible move may happen next couple of laps. Huge wheel spin by the Swedish driver that is trying as much as possible to take the position. It will be phenomenal to see the Porsche Cup on the overall podium. He is currently lapping very quick, although the best laps weren't on the Porsche's favor, but he has been way more consistent than the other two, which puts way more importance on the long. Damn, Vali is currently back into the wall. A lot of struggles for the Italian here. Brazil's Swiss pit was also 10 seconds slower for some damage repair that I would have not made, considering how little time is still to go. Just 18 minutes. Something around 9 laps it should be. more or less. No, it is 9 laps. It should be 9 laps. And I just noticed that I can't count. Because earlier on I said that Hane and Novak had around 22-ish seconds of difference. Clearly isn't, because Novak is showing yellow flags and drifting around and maintaining a perfect... okay, never mind. Okay, definitely want to see it again from the inside. Okay, lost the rear. It definitely lost the rear. It clearly lost the rear. And he actually made a impeccable drift. Clearly wanted to hit the tires. It was definitely the reason there. So for now it is 25 seconds the gap between Novak and Hane. It wasn't as much before the drift, but he still managed to gain on Hane on that particular occasion. He made a 13.5 while Hane made a 14.1. If he would get back to... Simoncelli is struggling a lot. So the car clearly lost the rear. And then by getting back on track, he was out spinning around. Now he's back on his tires. While Burns is approaching Christoph Takaki that is not battling for position. I saw some yellow flags here and around, but not really sure where. I wonder if Sakaki is not going to pit. Oh, Samuel Simoncelli is not. Still has in the usual racing line there. So at this point, I really think Sakaki will not pit, because something clearly happened, because he's getting back in the pits. Not really sure, because in my opinion doesn't have like that lot of damage, unless it's a drive-through. I think it's a drive-through. It is indeed a drive-through for exceeding track limits. That's why he's pitting again. So we had our first drive-through of the evening, and it's coming just 15 minutes. I can't even read anymore. 15 minutes before the end of the race. So as I was saying, I really think Sakaki doesn't want to pit. I really think he will try as much as possible to get to the very end of the race without a single pit, which is possible for this car considering it has the same fuel consumption of my dad's X1. And he is currently clear of... Okay, I really want to understand what happened there. I'll be honest, I don't understand. I didn't understand this one. Like, I can understand the mistake, but he just went straight. I wonder if he has some issues with his wheel or something, because he's driving oddly since that half spin. Pretty sure the reason there. But as I was saying, I really think Sakaki at this point doesn't want to pit. He is currently around... no, not around. It is 42 second clear. No, 62 second clear of Garbi. And with 15 to go, no, 13 to go and a couple of laps left. Can I see from the inside maybe? I'm trying, I'll be honest. Okay. I can't see how many liters are remaining. Is it that 13.9 maybe? Yes! Yes, it is! So 14 liters, I just need to understand how many liters it takes every lap. Which is not shown. Nope. So he still has around 14 liters remaining, if that's the liters. I can't remember by memory how the HUD is made on the BMW M2. And I'm really trying to squeeze my eyes as much as possible. Regardless, now Young then is getting back. We may as well see a final lap battle between these two drivers which meet in front, losing some time every single lap, even though he was faster overall, and Jongen losing on the best lap scenario, but consistently faster than Schmid. We'll go for a little chase between these two drivers. As we are back for the 6th position battle. This one may still happen in the very final moment. 7 minutes to go. So just shy of 4 laps. Whilst the leader is in another continent by this rhythm. 55 seconds clear of Brown. An entire minute of Brazier. And almost every driver but 7 drivers being lapped. This is clearly a great moment for the leader. And in this battle here we have been following them for a couple of laps now. I really think Schmidt's moment is now, because he has to defend as much as possible. Couple of changes behind. Oh, long send! Long send for the Dutch driver that tried whatever was possible. We can see back from the helicam what really happened between the two. Which means that understands the situation. You can see he goes slightly wider to let Jongen effectively pass by without hurting anyone. Possibly it was a brief moment of unfocusedness by the 79 driver that could have handed prematurely every chance to see a battle for the last laps. So for now, the gap unfortunately has widened up a lot after that. 1.3 seconds now the gap between the Dutchman and the German. In the end, I really think that Takeki is not going to pit, because the pit is not mandatory. Like, it is for basically everyone. It's not like you had to do it. It's just that after an hour and a half you would expect the car to just die. It clearly isn't happening for Takeki. It is not. Well, it is, but not entirely for Hane. That even after not changing tires, he is still able to stay in 11th place. I'm very curious because this is a good battle between consistency and sheer speed. Schmid is faster on the short term. 09.4 was his best lap, while just at 10.2 by Jongen. But you can clearly see that both drivers are one after the other, because the consistency paid off for the Dutchman. That even if maintaining a slower speed and a slower pace, he still has the capabilities to maintain a connection line between him and the driver in front, and maybe even an overtake may happen. Ooh, yellow flag being shown. It is. Oh, there is a contact between Benjamin Eck. No, it's two different instances. Happened in the same moment. So something happened to Benjamin Eck and something happened to Novak the very same moment. So it was a contact between Ginetta there. And unfortunately, I tried to do both things at the same time. It didn't really happen. While here, it was Novak trying to send it. And then there was contact between the two drivers. With Han now showing yellow flags. He is back on track. And that's a disaster because this would have put Novak in a situation where an overtake would have happened. Costa is also involved in another contact again. This time with Simoncelli, it was just coming across the track. I put Berto Costa to a halt for some reasons. Car clearly is not having a good time. Because I really want to see it again because it was so odd. It was just unfortunate, to be fair. What happened there? It is not the final lap because he still has to cross the line. So thanks, Jeff, for nothing, I guess. With 79 going extremely wide, we'll be trying to utilize as many last points remaining. Garby being involved in a contact. Something happened here because there is heavy damage on the front end of the car. Oh, he lost the rear. He lost the rear all by himself. There was Simoncelli just some 100 meters in front. I don't know what happened to him. Now it is on the final lap. So, white flag. Brought to you by, don't know, B. Didn't think of a sponsor this time. By FRL. Ascoli will have an easy ride towards the very end. With, unfortunately for Schmid, but luckily for Jongen, not a lap behind. As these two are just 5 seconds in front, you can see on the minimap. This pack is just after the hairpin. Jongen is still trying as hard as possible. He still has 2 laps to go, but 1.5 seconds to make back. So not really the greatest of the situations. So in the end, Stakeki will be able to maintain the position, by not pitting, even by going 5 seconds slower per lap compared to his best. James Coley will eventually be the first to cross the line in this packed up multi-class racing with M2, M4, GT4, Porsche Cup and Super Trofeo, plus obviously the GT3. And James Coley, the British driver, will be your winner for the 90 minutes big grid at Cota in the 510 Ferrari with a best lap of 207.0 and 37.3 exactly second clear of Brown. That goes into second place. Brazier will conclude the race in third. as longer than Omrod Stewart across the line. Next line will probably Hane. It is indeed the number 91 that crosses the line. Then Cotterill. Duncan Brazier is going to be on the podium for the big grid. Benjamin Eck in the Porsche Super Cup managed to stay in 4th place. For the whole time. For a brief moment there was a chance for getting the 3rd, but that didn't happen. Still, win on class and 4th place overall for Benjamin Eck, with James Buckley. In all of this, we didn't mention the leader in the GT4, because it was Alex Zakdal in the Maserati 331 getting the win in his class, Christoph Stakecki getting the win in M2, Bigiani getting the win in Super Trofeo, without really any surprise, considering it was the only one at the very end, and Schmidt getting the position 9 on the 901 on Jongen. So these are your winners. It's Cole overall. It is Benjamin Eck in Porsche Cup. It is Bigiani in Super Trofeo. It is Zakdal in the Maserati 331. And it's Stakecki without a single pit being made in the M2 Cup. There was also a 30-second penalty being applied for a suspected drive-through to Garby. And there aren't any penalties being applied anyway. So this was the mega grid at Cota, and this marks the end for tonight's stream and race. I hope you all enjoyed the race that happened until now. I still have to wait. I'm crying, all because I didn't have anger for now. Anyway. I was Cristiano Romano for you all. I hope you enjoyed the race so far, and I will see you all next time, which I don't have. My brain doesn't work. Can't really remember where or when.
Green light, go, go, go.
Thanks, Jeff, for just ruining my outro. But anyway, this was the big grid at Cota. I was Cristiano Romano. This was Assetto Corsa Competizione, and the community was Formula Racing League. Be sure to check it out for other one-off events, and the 2 main leagues are going to start in less than 30 days. So be sure to check out a space event there. Until then, see you all.